Collins, the manager of the Mets, and here is his lineup for the final game of this series. Eric Young in the leadoff spot. He's been batting ninth. Daniel Murphy, the second baseman, and David Wright are 1, 2, 3. Curtis Granderson moves to the cleanup spot. Lucas Duda has been red hot. He plays first base, followed by Chris Young, Taylor Teagarden, Wilmer Flores, and the pitcher Bartolo Colon to face the Cardinals starter Lance Lynn. Our key in numbers on Lance Lynn, who had a start in this homestand against the Nationals. Al, he went 8 innings, gave up just 2 hits, and really, I would say, his best start of the season.
Yeah, it was his third scoreless start of the year, and I think it was even better than his first career shutout and complete game against the Yankees. But he was dominant in that fashion, and he not only had the good fastball, both of them, 2- and 4-seamer, but he had an outstanding curveball that day. So Lance Lynn is looking to win his 8th ball game, and look, you never know. The last 2 seasons he's won 11 games each before the All-Star break. He's on pace to do that again.
Good ERA as well, 3.16 ERA for the Cardinals starter. As Eric Young Jr. walks to the plate, a greeting to Yadier Molina, and just about ready to get underway here at Busch Stadium. Terry Collins, 64-year-old manager, 3rd stint as a major league manager. He's also managed the Astros and the Angels, and his 4th year leading the Mets.
His team has lost 8 straight road games, and boy, the Cardinals have just dismantled them. The Mets have lost 6 straight series here in St. Louis and 12 of the last 14.
Lynn ready for our first pitch, and here it is, right down central, strike 1 to Eric Young Jr. Lynn, a little bit of a mechanics change in his last start, Al, and you guys talked about it quite a bit in the postgame where he's simplified things a bit.
Well, first of all, you can kind of see the way he sets up, looking to get his sign instead of really facing more towards home plate. It's almost more to the visiting on deck hitter. And watch, the biggest thing to me is where he holds the glove. He used to hold it much higher. Now it's down lower. It's very simple.
And Yadi hangs on. Yes, he does. Ball popped out of his glove, but Yadi, good reflexes. And a strikeout of Eric Young Jr. This is all about reaction here for Yadier Molina.
You can't teach this. It's just whether you have the instincts or not. See the ball pop up and then have the ability to just reach out, grab it, and secure that ball and get the strikeout. Murphy, the one Met that really has hit Lance Lynn very well.
5 for 11 against Lance. He misses outside. Murphy may be the best Mets hitter right now. There are guys in this lineup that we know can swing the bat, but Murphy at 295 has been the most consistent. Long fly ball to right, backs up Craig a bit for out number 2.
It's always important to get the first guy and then have a clean first inning, but against the Mets it really is. They have scored the 3rd most runs in the first inning in the National League.
Cardinals have played very good defense in this homestand, really all season long. And here's a look at our Cardinals defense, brought to you by Dobbs. Holiday, Jay, and Craig in the outfield. Descalzo getting another start today, and he will replace Peralta this afternoon. Wong up the middle, Carpenter and Adams at the corners, and Molina again behind the plate for Lance Lynn.
Mike Matheny trying to get some of the extra men a little more playing time.
David Wright pops up the first pitch. Again, Alan Craig makes the play. Very simple 1-2-3 inning for Lance Lynn. Lineup. John Jay, Matt Holliday to follow. Alan Craig in the cleanup spot. Matt Adams will play first base. Yadier Molina again behind the plate. Colton Wong at second. Daniel Descalzo getting a start at shortstop, and Lance Lynn will pitch and bat ninth for Mike Matheny. Another beautiful day here at Busch Stadium. Game time temperatures at 91, and the Cardinals will be facing the veteran, and I mean veteran, Bartolo Colon.
Well, the ageless wonder. He's 41 now. He's won his last 4 decisions. He will keep you at 2 runs or under. He doesn't walk anybody, and the majority of his pitches are going to be fastballs. But he'll be able to spot it in, out, up, down. Occasionally throw a little slider or some things, but you know, you just really have to kind of pick a pitch. If he gets it up over the middle of the plate, he won't be out there long, but he rarely does that.
Carpenter likes to work deep counts, but hammers this one to right field. Back goes Granderson. He's not going to get it. This ball over the wall. Home run, Matt Carpenter. Welcome back to the lineup.
The day off yesterday obviously was the right timing. He was 0 for 9, just 1 for 14 on the homestand, but that's the Carpenter we see. And like I said, if he throws the ball in the middle of the plate, he won't be out there long, and that's middle. It's the 11th home run that Colon has allowed, the 3rd home run for Carpenter.
Cardinals offense coming alive here the last couple of series. 98 plus miles per hour off the bat of Carpenter. There's a ground ball to the shortstop Flores, who throws out John Jay. Mets had some defensive issues here yesterday, but overall they've been a decent team on the defensive side. We'll look at the Dobbs Mets defense. Young and Granderson in the outfield. Granderson's been playing center in this series. Flores and Murphy up the middle. David Wright, very slick fielding third baseman. Lucas Duda at first, and Taylor Teagarden will catch Bartolo Colon. Carpenter's home run at 399 feet. Big swing by Matt Holliday, who fouls it off.
Let's see, they're going up there very aggressive. Colon doesn't walk anybody. You know, I mean, he's won his last 4 decisions. He's got 68 strikeouts to 13 walks. He averages 1.38 walks per 9 innings. And just, you know, he's won 195 ball games. He was the 3-time All-Star, Cy Young Award winner in 2005. He had 1 year he won 20 games, 10 in the American League and 10 in the National League.
Unusual.
Yes. Only second time it happened.
Ahead of Holliday, and he catches him looking. A pitch on the outside corner. First strikeout for Colon. You mentioned the 4 straight decisions. Last 5 starts for Colon. He is 4-0. So at one point he was just 2-5, Al, and had a high ERA, but his ERA under 2 in those 5 starts. So he's a hot pitcher right now, and the Cardinals strike against Colon early with Matt Carpenter's home run.
He has not allowed more than 2 earned runs in his last 5 starts.
Alan Craig takes strike 1.
And you can see he just throws strikes with the fastball. You know, may cut it a little bit, throw a slider or something, but he just tries to, you know, he's sneaky fast.
Checking his velocity, according to all the websites, has been a little higher than I thought. 88, 89, 90 at times.
Well, they told me also that, you know, you'll see it looks like he get battered around, and all of a sudden he'll pop 193. So where did that come from?
There's 91 from Colon.
You know, last year he had a career low 265 earned run average in 30 starts for Oakland. Signed with the Mets as a free agent.
As as you mentioned, he will be around the plate. The 1-2 to Alan Craig is hit hard to right field, and it's caught by Granderson on the move. Alan Craig robbed of a hit. But the Mets couldn't rob this one. Home run Carpenter, 1-0 St. Louis. Now has some more information on the Cardinals starter, Adam Wainwright.
Yeah, and a big smile on Waino's face after he threw his bullpen today. Even bigger smile when he answered the question, will you make your start on Saturday? The answer, of course, was yes. Waino threw 35 to 40 pitches today, said there were no issues with the tendonitis in his elbow. He did say the discomfort he had in his last start in Tampa was more severe than we were made to believe it was. He says he knew the tendonitis wasn't a season-stopping issue, but he admitted getting through the bullpen today with no discomfort was a, quote, relief, guys.
Jim, you think that was part of maybe the question going into that bullpen, and the Cardinals were pretty kind of close to the vest about whether or not Waino would make that Saturday start? You think that bullpen really is what pushed him over the top?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he had that cortisone shot, and I think that takes a couple of days to soak in, and they wanted to see how the elbow responded. And Waino said absolutely no issues with the elbow, and he was a happy guy when he was answering questions from reporters.
Jim, another pitcher I want to ask you about. I know there's been a lot of attention on the Cardinals bullpen, and Sam Freeman doing a great job, but Cardinals would like to get Kevin Segrist back. What's going on with him?
Well, Segrist was supposed to throw a bullpen over the weekend. He didn't. He was supposed to throw a bullpen today. He didn't. He's on the DL with that left forearm strain. The forearm is fine. He's now dealing with a nerve issue in his left shoulder. He dealt with the same thing during spring training, but guys, any plans to send him out on a rehab are on hold for right now.
All right, Jim, appreciate the update. So good news, Al, on Adam Wainwright. Segrist maybe not so good, but it's going to be great to have Adam making that start on Saturday.
Well, I think that's the most important thing. Adam, what he means to this ball club, he is really their spiritual leader, not only of the pitching staff, but of this team. And if he's feeling good about his arm, that's good news for Cardinal fans.
Leadoff walk to Granderson here, and not what Lance Lynn wanted to do after the 1-0 lead. He was stake 2, and a strike 1 to Lucas Duda.
That's what I was going to say. You don't want to do that, but Lance, see if he can't get a double play with a shift on, makes it a little more interesting.
Granderson 5 for 6 stealing bases. Late swing and a foul. Granderson has been dealing with a calf issue, sat out a couple of games early in the week, and don't expect him to be at 100% right now. He's talking it over with Tom Goodwin, the first base coach for the Mets. Our old friend Tim Tuffle, the third base coach here.
Well, the Mets do like to run. They have 53 steals on the year. And you mentioned Tom Goodwin. He was a pretty good base runner himself, the first base coach.
Sure was.
A lot more coaching. You know, when you have a coaching staff, they have to do a lot more teaching at this level than ever before.
Big lead for Granderson. Outside to Duda, 1-2. Granderson has now reached base in 27 straight starts. Not necessarily via the hit, but he has reached base. Walks a lot. Curveball popped up. John Jay battles the sun a little bit, makes the play. And it's time for us to look at our Toyota keys to the game today.
Well, the one thing you want to do is have that killer instinct. You want to go for the juggler. You know, you won the first 2 games, so step on their throat and close out the series and keep your spotless 6-0 homestand at this point. And then with Colon, because he's going to throw all strikes, he doesn't walk anybody, be ready for those pitches. You know, he kind of a little sneaky fast, but he'll throw in the strike zone, so be ready for it.
Al, can I say that is a vintage Al Raboski key to a game, to go for the juggler?
Step on their throat. Go for the juggler.
You couldn't wait to use that as a key, could you?
Well, we haven't done it very well.
But you woke up this morning thinking that, didn't you?
I went to bed last night thinking that.
Let's hope the Cardinals are thinking that. Lance Lynn working to Chris Young, who's gone 15 games without an extra base hit. A rarity for him. He has good power.
Well, they signed him as a free agent and talked about it a little bit the other day that Nelson Cruz, with a lot more power and many more home runs, and on the All-Star, leading the All-Star ballots, DH is signed for about the same amount of money.
There goes Granderson, swing and a miss. Throw from Yachty is low, but it's handled by Wong, and he got it. Yachty, 13th caught stealing of the year, leads the National League. Surprise, surprise.
Well, and not only does he lead the National League in that department, but probably has half as many opportunities as other catchers. Right there on the money, just put the glove down and apply the tag.
Nice tag and play by Colton Wong on the other end. There's a strike.
Granderson signed for about the same amount of money as Nelson Cruz, and a lot of people, kind of question the Mets, but they were right. Sandy Alderson said, that we need Young's defense.
Strikes out there. Bottom of the second coming up. Very deep at second base is Murphy. And a ground ball right back to Colon. Hit it off the end of the bat. One pitch, one out.
One could do that.
Haven't had a chance to set our umpires for you here this afternoon. The crew chief is at first base today. That's Bob Davidson, the veteran. The home plate umpire, Bill Welke, John Tumpane, and James Hoy round out the crew. Learned something about the umpires this week, Al, that I had not known, that the umpires all take a week off to go to New York to work in the studio helping with replays. The idea is that they'll learn how the system works from the other end, and Joe West was talking about that this week, who was in the last crew. There's a base hit to right for Yachty, and the idea is it helps them learn a little bit about positioning, and been very educational for all the umpires.
Well, the umpires are the ones that make the rulings, so that's why this year you got so many new names, as they had to, I believe it'd be 2 full new crews, along with the vacation umpires and guys that are called up for spot time. But along with getting the umpires okay, they had to make the rulings on it so they could increase their fold by quite a few.
Off-speed pitch, strike one to Colton Wong. Big pinch hit for Colton here yesterday. Came in the 6th inning, and he made his manager look like a genius. Down the left field line, slicing foul, and it's really what the execution of the player does to a manager. You either make him look good or look bad.
Right. I mean, I remember Don Zimmer, and boy, we miss him. But,
oh yeah.
But Don Zimmer, one year when he was managing the Cubs, it seemed like he managed against the book every time, and everything worked for him. He got into postseason, he did everything according to the book, and it never worked.
Ground ball to short. Flores to second. Wong runs well, but can't beat that out. 6-4-3 double play. 2 innings in the book. 1-0 St. Louis.
All the Cardinal and Royals fans.
100% agree.
And then we get some revenge, getting me back into my frame of mind.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
No. The rest of the world might.
Taylor Teagarden, 2 for his last 16. 7, 8, 9 for the Mets. Late swing there, way late. Mets are just waiting for Darno, their catcher, who has been kind of banished to the AAA team in Las Vegas, to come back. He's hit .394 there.
He was 2 for 5 last night. He's got 395, 5 home runs, and 10 RBIs. Teagarden hit a big grand slam that helped our cause because it was against Milwaukee.
Saturday is full of MLB action on Fox Sports Midwest, Fox, and Fox Sports 1. Cardinals host the Phillies on Fox Sports Midwest, and on Baseball Tonight in America on Fox, the Pirates face the Cubs or the Tigers battle the Indians. The Rangers and the Angels wrap up the day on Fox Sports 1. It's baseball all day Saturday. Fly ball to center. Wilmer Flores starting at shortstop. Tejada with the off day. Out number 1.
Set up outside, but a lot of the plate right there gets underneath it, pops it up. It's the 4th fly ball out. And Colon 0 for 26 with 17 strikeouts. They say when he makes contact, it surprises him, and most of the time he doesn't run.
Well, he'll be bunting here. He made contact, and he's running. Kind of.
He can sacrifice. That's his 2nd this year and his 8th in his career.
And really, that's what you need to be able to do if you're a pitcher. Get the job done. Colon, 41 years of age, 5'11", 283 pounds, 195 career victories. And a history with the Cardinals. June 1997. I believe that's John Mabry.
It was. He was in the lineup. Mabes hit a home run against him. That was the very first interleague game that the Cardinals played. He was with Cleveland at that time. Langford, Mabry, I think Delano DeShields.
Willie McGee in that game. And Andy Benes was the starter for the Cardinals. How about that?
He didn't win in '97, but there were some pretty good players on there. It's fun to look back and see some of the guys that, some of our favorites, some that thought maybe would do better.
3-0. Lance Lynn had a very quick first inning, only 6 pitches, 5 of them for strikes. Just 29, working with 2 outs in the 3rd, but he's behind 3-0 on EY Jr., and there's a strike.
Well, you remember how we've always talked about when it seemed like he gets in trouble is when he really falls off, spins and falls off towards first base. With this new motion that he has, it keeps him a little bit locked and keeps him going towards home plate.
That 1997 lineup you're talking about, first interleague game ever for the Cardinals. Colon, the pitcher, and how about those names?
Shields, McGee, Langford, Ronnie Gant, Mabry, Gayati, Mike DeFelice, Royce Clayton, and Andy Benes.
The 3-2 in the kitchen again of EY. Eric Young Jr., a good guy to keep off the base path.
Yeah, he's 17 of 18 in stolen bases. He's a switch hitter, 171 right-handed, 241 from the left side.
Cardinals outfielders very shallow. Swing and a miss. It doesn't matter. Another strikeout for Lynn. That's his 3rd. Lance Lynn has put 3 zeros up on the board, allowing just one New York Met hit. Stanton, McCutchen, Puig in the outfield. Tulowitzki having perhaps the best offensive season in the National League. Daniel Descalzo batting in the 8th spot. He started yesterday and had an impact.
You know, it's Mike Matheny talking about Daniel Descalzo and a pro's pro, and
pops this one up, foul, and out of play.
And wishes that he could find more playing time for Daniel. Try and keep him sharp for one thing, but such an integral part the last few years of the ball club. And this year, with a little more set lineup, not getting as much playing time, but he's still a very important person.
Probably helps him to play 2 straight games.
Oh, absolutely.
Been a good pinch hitter for the Cardinals. Has 4 hits in 14 plate appearances. The 0-2 to Daniel spoils that one.
And it really is tough when you're not playing much and then the pitcher makes a pretty good pitch against you. You're up there in battle mode, and he does a good job just to get a piece of that, get another shot.
And he'll get another.
And the more pitches you see, eventually you'll find a mistake. Did you find that right?
No question. We were all very saddened with the passing of Tony Gwynn this week, and I don't know of a hitter that did that any better than Tony Gwynn.
A guy like Tony, it's almost like just throw it down the middle. And confuse him. Does he want to pull it? Does he want to hit it the opposite field? But Tony Gwynn was a great competitor. His first year in the big leagues was my last, so I saw him a little bit, and obviously through the broadcast years, you know, came to really enjoy him as a person. What a special guy he was, and always good to the fans.
Absolutely.
Could have gone several times to other markets, but he wanted to stay there in San Diego. He was a 2-sport star at the university, and basketball and baseball, and then he was the head baseball coach at the University of San Diego. He had Strasburg. This is San Diego State. He had Strasburg, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Descalzo battling. Has worked it to 3-2. That pitch just missed at 89. Cologne wanted that one. So from 0-2 to 3-2.
Well, you got to believe you're going to get a strike here. It's 8 pitches. Walks very few. You've got a hitter that Hobby's not going to hit the ball in the ballpark, so you should challenge him.
Fly ball to left. Out number 1. Keep the savings going this year at On the Run. When the Cardinals score 6, get any size coffee, fountain, frozen drink for just 50 cents the next day. So don't just root for the Cardinal wins, root for 6 runs all season long. Then come celebrate at your nearest On the Run. Lance Lynn hitting .040. Making his 15th start of the season. And so far so good for Lance Lynn. Ground ball to Duda. And he'll take it himself. Another nice crowd here this afternoon. The smallest Cardinal crowd, Al, all season long. 40,514. We've had some bad weather days too, and folks just keep coming out.
I think a lot of fans love these afternoon affairs. Just call them businessman specials or whatever they are, but a getaway day for the Mets. You know, you do appreciate when you get an opportunity to have a day game. And we'll have the Phillies come in for 4, and they're having a little fun down in Atlanta. They're leading 9-5, batting in the 6th inning. So they have 2 fewer losses than the Mets, the Phillies.
Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday afternoon. The game time 3:10 on Saturday, and then Sunday a 1:15 game. Cardinals will have Miller, Garcia, Wainwright, and Waka as the starting pitchers against the Phillies. Phillies, one of those teams, just not sure whether they're going in the right direction or not. The National League East is so tight, nobody really running away with it. The Mets in last place in the East, but they're only 6 games out.
It's going to be real interesting to see what the Phillies do at the trade deadline. They may break up that team.
So much talk about parity in baseball and so many teams right around 500 as we're in mid-June. You just wonder how many teams are going to be sellers. Going to be some tough decisions there, won't there?
Yeah, it's going to be hard for some clubs that, you know, the Phillies know their window of opportunity is closing on them. Some of their players getting up in age, and it's hard to kind of admit that you have to start rebuilding.
3-2 to Carpenter. Hard hit to center field. Chris Young has it. Carpenter, who homered in the first, is retired.
Martinez getting the emergency start. And as much as you want to see a little more Martinez, we'll see Adam Wainwright on Saturday, and that's better. So Daniel Murphy, who flew out to right the first time up, is now 5 for 12 off of Lance Lynn.
Base hit to center field. John Jay knocks it down, gets it in a hurry, and he got it. Good tag by Descalzo. And John Jay throws out Daniel Murphy. He has made an impact, Al, this homestand.
Well, he has, and he's been at times, he's been one of the Cardinals' favorites. See that ball right there? He just knocked it down, but he stuck right with it, and strong throw, right on the money, quick tag. Scalzo tags him, and you see that one really shows that he's out. Umpire right there in perfect position. The lead leg did not go to the bag, and that's the difference being out or safe.
Well, John Tumpane was right on that, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
You know, talking about Nick Greenwood, surprised to hear that him picking up a victory in his first game in the big leagues. First time a Cardinal rookie reliever won his first game since John Costello in 1988. How about that?
Was that in Philadelphia? I'm trying to remember. I think I remember John's first appearance. We had a game, and you know, he's from that the New York area, so that was a big thrill for him.
You want to pitch in the kitchen? That's what that was. Wow.
Well, you see, Lance, the month of June has been a problem for him in the past, but not this year. Kind of got off to a slow start, but that last start really helped him out. He lost his first 2 starts, but the ERA, you throw 8 shutout innings, only 2 hits allowed, you get that ERA down, and he's starting to add to it. Like I said, he's trying to move his record to 8-4.
It's about as bad a swing as you're going to get from David Wright.
Oh,
ever.
absolutely. In the kitchen. But, you know, think about it, Rick. You know, Lance Lynn is on pace again to win 11 games by the All-Star break. He has been nothing but a winner.
had some detractors early in his career, Al. People saying that, well, he's just a winner because he's got run support. Well, this year, that's not the case.
That's right. He's not getting much run support. His career mark is 41-22, 3.70 ERA. And this year, he's only getting 3.7 runs per game.
The Cardinal starters who are getting the run support, Jaime Garcia and Adam Wainwright.
It's really not that much, you know, as Adams getting 4.6 runs, Jaime 5.5. But everybody else is down in the threes, except for Tyler Lyons on the disabled list. He's in the ones, 1.8. It's hard to win then.
You have to be perfect. I think Lance Lynn has tried to shake that a little bit, and you know, many of the younger generation of baseball fans who have embraced sabermetrics, and of course others have embraced it too, but a lot of people really think that wins are overrated, and that's a big debate going on in baseball. So Lance Lynn, with all those wins, they think, well, yeah, he's just winning because his team's getting runs for him. Certainly a debate.
And I don't think I've ever met a pitcher that says, okay, I want my team to stop scoring because I don't want people to say I'm not good enough to win with fewer runs. Nobody on the left side except for Descalzo.
Duda's been trying to go the other way too. We've had a couple of swings from him where he's tried the inside out swing to beat the shift. The swing that was most dangerous, however, was the swing where he pulled the ball off of Jason Mott in the ninth inning here last night. Not that many hours ago, a home run in the ninth inning off of Mott. Does have power. Jammed again by Lance Lynn.
You know, all 25 of his extra base hits have come against right-handers. So he plays just about every day, but 152 against left-handed pitching. And if you make a mistake, he can hurt it.
Duda, Granderson, team leaders with 9 home runs. Not one player with 10 or more home runs on this Mets team. Jammed again. Cardinals have just one player with 10 home runs, and that's Johnny Peralta, who has the afternoon off.
Neither one of these teams are going to talk about home runs much. You know, before the pitch was made or before this at bat, with the runner at first base, 2 outs, you know, somebody knows if the runner's going to try to attempt to steal, you know which one's going to cover. And I think it'd be Carpenter, who's playing, the third baseman, who's playing closer to the second base bag. There you see him retreating from second.
Helps him that he's played second base. Descalzo's played everywhere in the infield, so you've got guys that are really familiar with the different looks.
And I think Colton Wong, because of his speed, he can go left or right or in better than a Carpenter, so it makes sense for him playing short right field.
The 1-2 grounded to the right side, but foul. Two hits apiece, Mets and Cardinals. Lance Lynn's pitch count been very good. So has Cologne's, for that matter.
In my mind, you know, when you're as big as strong as Lance Lynn, the pitch count shouldn't really mean that much. He did go, what, 126, something like that, in his shutout against the Yankees, and that was a career high.
The 1-2 swing and a miss as he took something off of that. Yachty tags Duda. Strikeout number 4 for Lance Lynn, who strands another Met. So glad
gets the call exactly right. Good to see that.
Almost wonder if it's possible to get too close to a play too, because you got to see the tag and the bag at the same time. That tag was high, so if you're too close, you might kind of have a problem with it. But boy, the effort was great there.
And I think he kind of think about it as he saw the slide is when his body started moving down to where he could really see the tag. And that's all you ask for, isn't it? Effort.
I understand there's a phrase known as the plate blowing up on you if you're an umpire who's too close to a play to be able to make the call. That's umpire lingo for you, and that is a double for you.
There's also, you almost get too close to it as the ball gets away from the middle infielder and almost hits you. But he got out of the way of that overthrow. John Jay continues to impress. Cut it off. Young, as a Gold Glove caliber center fielder, gets the ball back in to see it get away. And Cardinals speed. John Jay does a nice job right there. Our umpire was right there in position too and didn't let the throw hit him either.
So Matt Holliday, a chance to add to the Cardinals lead, trying to hit the ball the other way, pops it up out of play.
Interesting that Jose Oquendo comes down to talk to Matt after the first pitch foul.
And a pretty good idea he didn't give him the bunt sign there.
Yeah. I would think Matt has the hit sign all the time. Got his 1,000th RBI the other night.
Alan Craig hits next. Tell Bartolo Colon throws pitches that move left, move right, left, right. I mean, he just really tries to be an artist.
Yeah, it really is. It's not the arsenal. It's just his ability to spot the ball.
That might have hit Matt Holliday, and it did.
Is that the 8th time Matt has been hit by a pitch? That one just had to just graze him. You know, if you're a pitcher and you hit a guy, you want to hit him. You don't want it to just hit the blouse of his uniform.
You want him to go for the jugular, don't you?
Absolutely.
Seems to be your theme for the day, Al. Alan Craig lined out. Really good at bat to end the first inning. Craig is over 400 on the homestand, showing a lot of signs of being the Alan Craig that we saw a year ago.
Just starting to feel better and better with runners in scoring position. Got off to a slow start, but when it's all said and done, yeah, I'm sure he'll be one of the top hitters in the league in that department. Lined out to right his first time up, but you know, just looked like he had to take a couple strikes the first time, like just that way. He just wasn't convinced it was in the strike zone.
Maybe sizing up Colon a little bit. 2 runners aboard for the Cardinals. There's a ground ball to short. This could be 2, and it is. Turned by Murphy, the second baseman, and the Cardinals now leave it up to Matt Adams here in the 4th. And again, in case you were listening to the background noise, as often happens during the game, we try to give you, as best we can, the sounds of the game as close as we can, and sometimes you pick up language you prefer not to hear, and we apologize on behalf of the players when that happens. Breaking ball, strike one to Adams. We've been doing a lot of apologizing this year, Al, and some in Spanish too. Had to do that the other day. Had to drop out a lo siento because there was a word that you and I know, probably the first Spanish word that we learned that we won't say. Doesn't feel like swearing when you say it in another language, but it is. And we've heard a few of those this year too. So lo siento and I'm sorry.
I don't know what to say. I just don't know any of those words.
All right.
In English.
Not buying that for a minute. Big lead off of third base. Interesting to watch John Jay with.
Well, that's it. You could almost walk on home. David Wright playing near the shortstop area, even closer to the bag. So you just keep on walking.
And Jose Oquendo has been encouraging the runners to get huge
bigger
leads. And you think about maybe a ball that gets away from a catcher, but not that far away from a catcher. I mean, a little maybe bouncer in front of the plate. You get a huge lead.
You get that good lead, the good secondary lead, and if there's a separation, you could score with the ball just barely getting beyond the dirt surface behind home plate.
Matt Adams, by the way, 333 coming into play, would be third in the National League in batting, but he was 2 at-bats shy of qualifying because of some of the games that he's missed. You have to have 3.1 at-bats per game. 1-2 pitch to Adams, jams him, popped up on the left side. So David Wright returns home to make the play. 1-0 Cardinals. I guess we just decided to let him in, Al.
Sure, they're welcome.
Of course they are.
We say their money's welcome. I saw 2 days ago they were feeling a little better about this series than they are now.
Mets have lost 7 of their last 10, 9 games below 500. They're really looking for health and offense. They've lost some significant players. There's a ball hard hit to left, but Holiday quickly moves to his right to retire Chris Young. Holiday takes some great routes, doesn't he? Fans, you can follow every Cardinals game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB TV game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit Cardinals.com today. Pretty humid afternoon here too in St. Louis, and we all know, for people who lived in the Midwest, that it can get more humid than it is today, but we're starting to feel like one of those summer days. Again, the temperature's low 90s, and fans here having to find ways to stay cool.
And it is St. Louis, and it is summertime, so it's going to get warm. I think the players of today appreciate the fact they don't have to play on the turf anymore.
Big difference.
Some of those Sunday afternoon games, 140 on the turf. Just look up and you can see the heat waves waist high. Take a look at that pitch, just hitting the perfect spot. Set up away, hits his target.
Lance Lynn with 4 strikeouts. He's walked 2, and a ground ball back to Lynn to retire Teagard. Lance Lynn probably a happy camper today as Ole Miss college team won in Omaha last night. They had lost their first game to the University of Virginia, but they won last night. And Ole Miss, TCU, Virginia, among others. But those are the three I'm most paying attention to.
You were talking awful big yesterday about how you were going to whip up on Matt Carpenter's TCU team. How'd it come out?
I was really excited actually to watch the game. I haven't had a chance to ask Matt if he watched the whole game. 15 innings, longest College World Series game ever. And I fell asleep after 14.
Yeah.
And Virginia wins in the 15th. How about that?
Number one fan, and you fall asleep. Sure.
I just gave up. Line drive. Handled by Wong.
Team, but get a little more offensive support, and we could do that today. Leadoff home run by Carpenter, and nothing since.
First pitch grounded foul by Yadier Molina. He singled in the second inning. Yadi been 2 for his last 14. Leading vote getter right now, National League, for the All-Star game, which will be on Fox. Expect the Cardinals to be well represented. That ball just foul.
But make Mike Matheny's job a lot easier if we can get the fans to not only continue to vote for Yachty, but all your favorite Cardinals. And remember, the Cardinals, you can vote until what, July the 3rd, but the Cardinals are going to be on the road. So, you know, you don't have that easy ballot here at the ballpark.
Oh-2, grounded back to Colon. Doesn't waste a lot of pitches. He goes right at guys. Molina's retired to continue the 50th anniversary celebration of the 1964 World Championship. 25,000 fans 16 and older will receive a replica jersey Friday, June 20th, just like the one World Series MVP Bob Gibson wore as he pitched during the championship game. Get your tickets for the June 20th Cardinals-Phillies game at cardinals.com/promotions. Colon retires Wong.
Wong, when he went back after they caught that line drive, the final out, throws it to the fans. Don't get on the dugout. Don't get on. Oh, and the mom picks it from all the kids, but she had 2 lovely daughters there to give it to them.
So close for so many of those young people.
Had to roll in front of what, about 5 or 6 different kids. And mom with the long arms reaches out there. It's funny how to watch those kids all run down after the end of an inning. Try and get that ball, and the Cardinal players always are accommodating.
I like that change in baseball. There was a time where they were very against, umpires were against players flipping balls up in the stands. Really, the league was against it.
Absolutely.
The thought was, and I'm not sure if it was all about economics. In some sense, it was about safety. You didn't want to flip a ball, hurt a fan, or have them fall over a seat or fall over each other. And we were told, don't do it. In fact, umpires would fine us in the 80s and prior. I can't speak for too many decades prior, but it seemed as if that was a long-standing rule in baseball. David Wright over towards his own bench, and the ball sticks in his glove, almost popped out. But Wright retires Descalzo. Easy inning for Colon. Moving right along here at Busch.
Don't do that. Don't do that. And they came over and said, you know, I remember my first time I did that too. I threw a ball up, and then as soon as I turned my back, it drilled me in the back.
So you're just handing them a weapon is what you're doing.
Yeah, well, that was the Wrigley Field.
Colon lines it down the line, makes contact, first hit, and he's headed to second. On the move, and he gets there.
I kind of got the impression when he got the base hit, he's going, oh no, I got to run now. That's his first hit of the year. His 11th in his career, but that's in 124. Look at him throw the bat down. Oh, man, I got to run.
2006, 2007, 2008, 11, 12. Offering some refreshment.
Oxygen. But right now,
that's Bobby Abreu. He knows what that's like.
Yeah, but a little more serious is the fact that that's a leadoff double in a 1-0 game.
Eric Young Jr. has struck out twice against Lance Lynn. Colon, the runner at second. And there's a line drive base hit in the gap, and that's going to score Bartolo Colon. Jay cuts it off. Back-to-back doubles for the Mets here in the 6th inning, and this game is tied at 1.
Eighth RBI, and Colon, to say he'll get some oxygen, a little bit of refreshment. There you go, Ricky. What's your apology now?
Okay, otra vez. Lo siento por el lenguaje que los compañeros usan ahí.
A bad word was spoken in Spanish.
I'll say.
Second time he's ever crossed home plate, but first time with an extra base hit. And we'll see if that doesn't knock him out of the game, running around the bases. Good pitch there.
Abreu having fun with it. He's no spring chicken himself. Oh, 2 on Murphy. Lance Lynn's job now, Al, as we think about Lance Lynn and what we've seen from him in other games. Stop the bleeding. Don't give up the big inning, the big crooked number on the board. Let it settle into a 1-1 game.
Well, Lance has gotten in trouble with the big inning in the past. I think he's getting better in that. He has been able to keep the ball in the ballpark. Only 6 home runs allowed. But right now he needs to get some outs. Cardinals also need to score some for him.
Lynn has his sign. Ground ball left side. Tough play. Tough hop. They get the runner moving to third, and I wonder if Matt Adams had his foot on the bag there. Woo, that was close.
Well, Matt was watching, and he saw that Young was going to go to third, so trying to get that ball and staying on the bag and see if you're in a position to throw. Scalza was hustling. He was over there to receive the throw as Carpenter also backpedaled to third.
Not an easy hop for Carpenter.
Yeah. Looked him back, and then you see Matt very quickly, and he might have pulled that foot off the bag.
I wouldn't want to replay
no,
on that.
I wouldn't either.
Infield in for the Cardinals.
Had to get the sure out, and you just didn't know if you could get it thrown to Young at second.
Backs David right off the plate.
Remember last time up, he just really got in David's kitchen, jammed him. So he tried to go back in there, but this one ran a little bit more. Infield in.
I think that's a mistake by the Mets right there, not challenging that play at first base. I mean, why wouldn't you? 6th inning of a game.
Yeah, I mean,
you get one challenge.
In 7th inning, you can just ask umpires to challenge, so why not?
Base hit to right. Mets take the lead. Play at second, not in time, and he comes off the bag, and they call David Wright out. He was safe at first, and David Wright saying that he may have been pushed off the bag perhaps. And there's going to be an argument there at second base on a jam shot hit to right for David Wright. Third double of the inning.
I mean, got to give him a double because he called him. He was safe at first, and umpire once again in perfect position. Collins talked but was satisfied. If you have a better look right here. Good hustling play by Alan Craig.
I think that's a good call. Daniel Descalzo keeps the glove on him.
And he's not pushing him at all. It's just his momentum of the late slide. He loses his balance, and there you see he loses contact with the base. So a very, very good call, and if they would have challenged that, it would have held up.
So it's 2-1 Mets. Could be worse than that, perhaps, had the Mets challenged the play at first base with Matt Adams. I still think that's a big mistake on their part.
I do too, because saw that replay. I would want to see that slowed down, and you saw it with the naked eye.
2-0 on Curtis Granderson, who's walked twice already, and we'll see it one more time. Is Matt Adams on the base when he catches this ball or not? Sure doesn't look like it.
Sure doesn't look like it, right? I don't think so.
I believe that would have been overturned, would have been first and third, would have been another runner in scoring position.
You can kind of cheat at times, just like trying to get ready to throw it to third, but he didn't throw.
And just to push the point further, isn't that the kind of play where the managers have been coming out and giving their replay personnel a chance to at least look at it?
Yeah.
Three and one on Granderson. And he walks for the third time today. Lance Lynn having trouble throwing him strikes. The Bud Bash Fridays feature prizes and a current or former Cardinals player. Friday, June 20th. I will be there to sign autographs beginning at 5:30. I know you'll all want to be there for that. First 200 people in the Budweiser Bash line. Gate 5 will be guaranteed an autograph. For information and tickets, you can go to cardinals.com/promotions. A lot of our friends and alumni and people who stay in the St. Louis area and those who have come into town from out of town as well for other Cardinal alumni will be participating in those Bud Bash Fridays, and always a lot of fun.
If I'm first in line, will you sign one for me?
I will be glad to. Otherwise, you go for my jugular.
Good point.
Wouldn't want that to happen. Maybe a threat to steal here, Curtis Granderson.
About a minute ago, I already did. You were joking.
Exactly.
3 walks in the afternoon. All 3 of them to Granderson over at first right now.
5-game hitting streak on the line for Duda. Granderson caught stealing earlier, not going there.
Seth Maness just got up and started throwing in the Cardinal bullpen.
Save a couple of days ago for Seth Maness.
4-out save.
I thought you made a great point, Al, yesterday about the Cardinals being able to give Rosenthal a couple of days off, and in doing so, in games they were ahead, they needed to have some saves. So they had Maness, then Neshek, and that's only going to be good for the bullpen.
Absolutely. All of a sudden, you feel like you have the confidence that you can give Rosenthal needed rest and still cover tough situations, safe situations. Neshek now has 2, and Maness has 1. In the old days, you never took a pitcher out in the 8th inning because it was a safe situation. You only took him out if he got in trouble.
So a walk to Granderson, and now 3-1 on Lucas Duda. Things coming apart a little bit for Lance Lynn here in this inning. He's given up 3 extra base hits. Cologne, Young, and Wright.
It was 0 for 10 against Lance, but this is a big pitch.
Cardinals already have 2 breaks in the inning. A play that was not challenged, and a tag play at second base where Daniel Descalzo kept the glove on David Wright, who overslid the bag. Need to capitalize on that. 3-1. Lynn steps off.
Granderson is 5 steals and 6 attempts, but like you said, he missed 3 days earlier this week with a calf injury. Hasn't shown. He did try to run back in the second, was thrown out.
Ball 4. Brings in Chris Young, and we'll remind you, along with our friends at Budweiser, what's on tap. The Phillies 4-game series. Buchanan Miller in game 1. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6:30 on Fox Sports Midwest. So a conference on the mound. Yadier Molina out to talk to Lance Lynn. I would think that they would let Lynn finish this inning if possible. Trying to get him through the 6th. Pitch count for Lynn not so bad, 83 pitches. He's scheduled to lead off the bottom of the 6th, so perhaps his last batter anyway.
I think that's part of the reason you want to show the confidence, but can't let it go too far, and this could be his last batter. Got to throw strikes. Chris Young has 1 hit off of Lance Lynn, and that was a home run. It was his first Mets home run of the year. He has 4 to this point.
There's a good pitch from Lance. Still throwing hard, 93.
They're trying to get strikes, and that one is right up and away. And
One and 2. So Lance Lynn really 1 pitch away from having a pretty good outing here.
Yep, 94 miles an hour with the last one, and see this one here. Just overpowers Young.
Tried to throw that one 100, didn't
Yeah. Usually when you do that, your forearm stiffens up and you use a lot of effort, but the ball doesn't come out free and easy, and so you don't get any movement, and it doesn't go nearly as fast as you want it to go.
Cardinal fans trying to help out Lance Lynn. And a swing and a miss. Lynn strikes out Chris Young for the 2nd time. But the Mets pick up 2, 3 extra base hits. Strand 2.
He was the best Toastmaster you could ever imagine, and the funniest, I mean, just great humor. He loved the Cardinal fans.
Very witty at those events.
Yep.
And you and I saw him so many times where he would have the perfect word for the situation. He understood the crowd, very much of a showman, and loved the Cardinals and loved Cardinal fans too.
Oh yeah, I mean the fans were, he was so gracious to everyone, and we just, you know, just some of his famous calls are just legendary, and you never get tired of hearing them.
I agree. Mark Ellis pinch hitting for Lance Lynn. His afternoon is through. 6 innings, 2 runs, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts for Lance. Ellis gets this one to center for out number 1. Cardinals have Peralta, Cruz, and Borges now left on the bench. as we go back to the top of the order, and Matt Carpenter. Carpenter has supplied the Cardinals offense today. St. Louis with just 3 hits against Cologne, hitting here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and Carpenter's home run right out of the chute.
First pitch, wasn't it? Very early in the bat, not the first one, but we kind of noted in that first inning everyone was kind of going up there ready to swing.
Bartolo Colon, 195 and 133 in his career, and as Al told you, very good in his last 5 starts. You can call it 6 now, counting this afternoon. He's been very good. Colon right around the plate, 62 pitches.
Came in with a 5.40 ERA on the road. You wouldn't know it the way he's pitching here. The majority of his pitches, a high percentage, are fastballs. A few changeups, a few cutters and sliders, but pretty much just throws the ball in the strike zone, but tries to avoid the middle. 92.
I think the point you were making earlier is Colon has that 92 in him, and he just doesn't feel like he needs to use that very often. But it's nice to have it in reserve, and it shows you that a pitcher doesn't need to throw at full throttle every pitch to be successful. Another fly ball to center field. Two outs. Sunday, June 22nd. Come out early. Watch batting practice from the stands in your new batting practice hat. AT&T is sending 25,000 fans 16 and older home with their very own adult replica batting practice hat with the 2013 National League Champions logo. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Colon, 195 wins we've mentioned, most career wins. Pretty good names on that list. Tim Hudson, the Cardinals have seen this year. He's having a great year. Has 212. Sabathia, Burley, Cardinals have seen him. And A.J. Burnett with 151.
You see those numbers and it makes you really think, will we ever see another 300 win pitcher?
Almost hard to imagine that now.
CC Sabathia, a lot of people thought about him, but he's injury have caught up with him, and even Hudson would need to continue his good year and 4 more outstanding years. And he's about 39 or so, isn't he?
So you need to average, if my math is right, 20 wins a year for 15 years.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to win 20 right now.
Or 15 wins a year for 20 years. How many people are going to do that?
Not many. Hard hit and run down by Young. He retires all 3 Cardinals here in the 6th. That's up by 1.
Seth Maness doing for the 26th time. See a lot of hits, but has that ability to get, doesn't get many walks, but he has the ability to get a ground ball to get out of a jam with a double play, and now we don't want him to allow any base runners.
Seven, 8, 9 for the Mets to face Seth Maness, who has started to get the ball down in the zone a little bit better. Seems that he's made an adjustment. There's a pitch at the knees. A year ago, he was just a ground ball machine, wasn't he?
He was outstanding. Led all National League relievers and double play balls. He was kind of the guy, the go-to guy when you needed to relieve a pitcher with runners on base. Rough spring, but like you say, getting more ground balls now, and then it makes the changeup a little bit more effective.
1-2 on Teagarden, who's singled and bounced out. Build-A-Bear Workshop, one of the staples here at Busch Stadium.
You really have to have a full entertainment area for kids now at these ballparks.
A lot to do here at the stadium.
Yeah. Randy Schilt warming up behind Manus.
Three left-handers near the top of the Mets lineup, plus the switch hitter Eric Young Jr. Manus wanted that delivery, thought that was strike three. Guy that normally throws strikes. Threw one there, popped it up. John Jay has it. As we promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photos to STL Fan Photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Line drive, right field corner, run down by Alan Craig. Gets it in quickly, so a base hit for Wilmer Flores, his first hit of the afternoon. The young Venezuelan shortstop is spelling Tejada.
A nice play by Alan Craig to cut that ball off. Hold it to a single. Colon, another opportunity to sacrifice.
Whatever you do, don't make me run again. Doesn't quite square quickly enough on that bunt attempt. Strike one.
You might really think about this, that with Colon up there, go ahead and take your shot at second base anyway, and you still could throw him out at first.
I think that's a reasonable thought. Will he do it? No. Just gets the runner at first.
But he could have
had a chance to do just what you mentioned.
Could have. Now, if you really know Colon and his ability to run, trot, you know, you could take the chance at second base, and even if you didn't get the out there, you still can make the return throw and get Colon out at first.
At the strong arm of Daniel Descalzo at shortstop. Worth the effort. But a good day with the bat for Bartolo Colon, as well as what he's done pitching wise. 2 sacrifices and a double and a run scored. Two outs. Eric Young. Young followed the Colon double in the 6th inning with a double of his own. That put the Mets on the board, and then David Wright drove home Eric Young.
Eric Young been on the disabled list. Came off for this series, and he has been struggling at the bat.
According to Chris Tuno with the Cardinals, the last time Bartolo Colon scored a run, he was a member of the Montreal Expos, and it was 2002.
Maybe 12 years, whether you needed to or not.
This could be trouble down the left field line, and it's fair. Flores scores another double for EY.
Might have been a break that ball bounced into the stands. his second double, but he came in over his last 11 games 5 for 37, a 135 average. With his speed all elevated, when his speed, if that ball doesn't bounce in the stands, that could have been at least a triple.
With the left-hander coming up, that should be it for Seth Maness. Mike Matheny goes to his bullpen. Mets have added to their lead here in the 7th inning, so in comes Randy Choate, the left-hander, our Chevy call to the bullpen.
Now you can see Randy has really had a good time against left-handers, but the right-handers this year have really beat him up. Had that one bad game against Chicago that he was out there for a long time and out of necessity, and that really has ballooned his ERA, and he'll be pitching all summer to get it down. But the lefties he's had pretty good success against.
Facing one here, Daniel Murphy, 1 for 3. Singled in the 4th, was thrown out by John Jay, trying to stretch it into a double. 2 outs. Cardinals now trailing by 2. St. Louis has already won this series by winning the first 2, but would like more than that. They've got 3 more innings left. We'll see the heart of the Cardinals order in the bottom of the 7th inning. Holiday, Craig, and Adams. Perhaps a rally will start there.
Well, they were able to complete the sweep on the first opponent on this homestand, Washington. But more times than not, they've won the first 2 and couldn't close it out. So go for the juggler. Get that sweep. Hard to do it, though, with just 1 run on 3 hits.
The 1-1 popped up. Carpenter towards the stands and does not make the play. The sense that he thought he was closer to the stands than he really was, and I'm not sure if he lost that in the sun even, but seemed a little tentative the last few steps.
Yeah, you kind of look here, checks right there to see where he is, and he's tippy-toeing around there, and it kind of is that little area where it opens up a little bit beyond the dugout. Scored an error on Carpenter, a tough error. Tearing the sun. He's got eye black, but no sunglasses, right?
1-2, pulled foul. And I think we would agree that it's a ball that he should catch.
We talked about Terry Pendleton. I always think about foul balls and how good Terry was going back on them and catch them in foul territory.
One and 2 to Murphy. Choate strikes him out. Even better. Time to stretch. Cardinals need some talent.
And his 2 at bats, a strikeout in the first, hit by a pitch in the 4th.
And he swings at the first pitch there, drives it to left. It almost got over the head of EY Jr. That ball was smoked. Time to take a look at the leading vote getters for the American League All-Star team. You have Cabrera, Trout, and Bautista. Some power in the outfield. Jeter and Cano, former teammates, up the middle, and Donaldson for the A's. And Cabrera for the Tigers, maybe the game's best player, and Wieters behind the plate. Nelson Cruz, you mentioned earlier, the leading vote getter for DH. All-Star game July 15th on Fox, and remember, you can keep voting on MLB.com through the 3rd of July.
Yeah, because after Sunday, the Cardinals are on the road for the entire rest of the balloting campaign, so you can't get the easy ballots here at the ballpark. get them online and vote up to 25 times a day.
And you know everybody under 30 says the easy ballots are the ones online.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Well, they don't deal with paper.
I was going to say, well, then get them going.
So, okay, you hear
That's
that?
your responsibility.
Okay, well, I'm not under 30, but we're informing everybody
You're
under
their
30.
leader.
Get online. Get online and vote early and often. It's that internet thing, Al.
I heard it. Al Gore invented it, right?
And we're on you about that, but you've got your iPad working here. You know what you're doing.
Sort of.
0-2 on Alan Craig. Late swing. Duda flips to Cologne. Cardinals have not had a hit since John Jay's leadoff double in the 4th inning.
Haven't had a base runner since that double and then the hit batter of Holiday. Only 3 hits in the day. They scored on a leadoff home run by Carpenter in his first bat of the afternoon. So Cologne has been doing his magic.
Adams grounded out, and he's popped up to the third baseman, and he shows bunt and attempts to bunt one down the third baseline in front of Yadier Molina. You know, I'm all for that.
Well, he did it a couple times in spring training. Mike Matheny said, absolutely. If they're giving you a hit the other way, go ahead and take it.
David,
he didn't have to make it that perfect.
David Wright came in and told Cologne, you're going to have to get over there. The shift works there. Adams bounces out. We played 7, 3-1 in the first.
Randy Schote with right-handed hitting David Wright, and then 2 lefties will get a chance to have a 1-2-3 inning. Jason Mott throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. They're stirring in the Mets bullpen, but no activity.
Pitch count still low for Bartolo Colon. Swing and a miss by David Wright.
Last couple days, David Wright starting to swing a little bit better.
After that first pitch, it looked to me that David got a little closer to the plate too. He sees that Choate not really going to throw it by him on the inside half. He's going to make him pitch him in. Trying to set him up. He is right up on the dish, isn't he? But he grounds it to the right side. Wong throws out right. Did I just say Wong and right?
You did.
Thought that's what I said.
Too bad Walker was the.
Look at the Cardinals bullpen. Always an interesting place, Al, the bullpen. A lot of memories in places just like that. Jamie Pogue, the bullpen catcher, giving you a good indication with this view just how fast Jason Mott rushes it up there. Boom.
And he doesn't have his full velocity back either.
Granderson waves at a slider.
Nice sign there. Mercy, the official medical provider of the Cardinals. In the second year of that relationship.
The 0-2. Line to right. Alan Craig has it. Randy Choate has retired all 3 batters that he has faced. We have our 20th sellout here this afternoon. 42,221 fans here.
Yeah, this is a special day. A lot of our friends having a birthday today. Terry Rush. How about Tom Mee, our esteemed director? Anybody else we can think of?
Jim Jackson.
Jim Jackson.
Engineer on the radio side.
There's one other person. I don't know if fans remember him, but
I think you should give it a shot.
I guess it's the base burglar. Lou Brock turned 75 today.
Here at the ballpark yesterday, he and Jackie.
The other day they celebrated, the trade that brought Lou here 50 years ago. That was on June 15th. June 15th used to be the day. That was such a big day for players. That was the trade deadline, but it also, if you made it to June 15th, you got paid for the full year.
Good slider from Choate. Waters for drinking
and hydrating and cooling off.
Looked like a pretty good idea as far as I'm concerned. 0-2 on Duda, and he waves at another slider. Choate, good outing for him.
It's a little bit of Fox vision.
I love that.
And saw our second base umpire we've highlighted a few times and how his hustling paid off where he got the call right because of good positioning.
One of the things you get with experience as an umpire is knowing where to be around the base at the right time.
He's got to make sure.
Colon has had a busy day and throws out Yadier Molina.
Several times he's fielded the ball. Other times he's got over to cover first base. But he's 41 years of age. He's almost 300 pounds. But he moves well. And right now he's throwing a tremendous game. A three hitter. And just a leadoff home run by Carpenter is the only blemish on his record.
We talked about him having to run the bases, Al, and he had his first hit of the season, doubled to lead off the 6th inning, and we wondered what kind of toll that would take on Bartolo Colon, but he doesn't really seem winded at all. He seems to be in total command of this game. There's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball at the knees, and he's not let up a bit.
I thought you were going to say it seems like he's in good conditioning. Doesn't seem like it, but he's sure is pitching like it. Heat hasn't bothered him.
Cardio's good at least. And so is the pitch selection, as E.Y. Jr. almost lost that ball in the sun, and Long is retired. So far, the Cardinals offense has fizzled a bit here this afternoon after 2 big offensive outbursts against the Mets. And game 1, they had 6 runs on 12 hits, 5 runs on 10 hits here last night. Descalso 0 for 2. We'll try to get something going with 2 outs.
View from the right field corner as Peralta is on deck. Hope he gets a shot.
Base hit, Descalso. And that brings Johnny Peralta to the plate as the potential tying run here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
That was the first hit by the Cardinals since a leadoff double by John Jay back in the 4th. Just gets a piece of it, hooks it, drives it in between first and second.
I think Daniel's a pretty good complete player. He plays a lot of positions. We know he has good at bats as a pinch hitter. He's made his presence felt the last 2 starts here. And Al, I've been talking about him potentially being a manager someday down the road. I see him more than any other Cardinal as maybe doing that.
Right. And just limited play. He's got a little 3-game hitting streak, 3 for his last 10. Johnny Peralta, a lot of at-bats compared to some of the other guys against Cologne, but not much to show for it.
0-1 on Peralta. I asked Daniel about potentially managing someday, and I said, hey, I'm not rushing you out of this game, just asking you. And of course, he pitched in college and knows a little bit about every facet of the game, and he said, yeah, there may be a day that would be of interest to him. Right now he wants to play, he doesn't want to rush it along either. Ground ball to third. David Wright on the move, throws out the pinch hitter Johnny Peralta. Cardinals strand a runner, just their second of the afternoon.
And Samad appearing for the 11th time. Trying to come back from Tommy John. Came into last night's ball game and faced 2 batters, gave up 2 hits, including Duda's home run. But you know, he's chomping at the bit to get back out there and show how well he's pitching on the comeback trail. Breaking ball there. I think what he's going through coming back to Tommy John, pitching with less velocity, is going to help him when he does regain the fastballs.
Popped up middle of the field, everybody going for it. Who wants it? John Jay calls off the infielders and makes the play. Let's take a look at our Nissan drive of the game, the TCU product. Matt Carpenter came early. Unfortunately, the offense has not been often here today. He drove that into the Cardinals bullpen. An early 1-0 lead for the Cardinals, but that's the last offense we've seen from St. Louis.
Yeah, third pitch of the game, and you thought the Cardinals going to have a little fun today, and that was it. Do have the 9th inning to try and have a nice comeback win.
We'll have Carpenter, who has that home run, often ignites the Cardinals offense. John Jay, red hot. Matt Holliday, always dangerous. Backhand stop by Descalzo, but no chance of throwing out Teagard. Going to be an infield hit, second hit of the afternoon for the Mets catcher.
Nice effort by Descalzo. He knocks it down, tries to get it, and Teagard, a young catcher who still has his legs. About 10 years into the league, you might be able to throw him out.
Flores, the shortstop, takes that pitch low. There's Pat Paris, hard at work, Al. We know what that's like to sit there with Pat. Hi, Pat, how are you? I know Andy Bettis is there somewhere. Point to him. Where is he? He's in there in the green room. Oh, no, he's sitting right there, right next to him. How do you miss Andy Bennett? Popped up to center. John Jay fighting the sun, and he caught it. Barely.
A little snow cone. You can see he's got the glasses down, really fighting. A lot of outfielders will use their glove and look through the webbing. You got that H webbing, look through there, try and shade their eyes. And you can see a lot of white there, but he holds on to it. You look right through that H webbing, and it got to a point where he lost the sight of it, but it hit his glove.
And he looked in there, and there it was. How about that? I think he was a little surprised he caught that.
Yeah. Bobby Abreu will pinch hit here for Cologne. We finally knocked out Cologne.
Is that what we did?
Well, we got him out of the game. Mejia. Abreu 2 for 18 as a pinch hitter.
I wonder if the game has ever seen this old a player pinch hitting for this old a player.
Oh, it probably has. But you got two Cologne's 41. Not sure when Abreu will turn 41, or if he hasn't already.
There was a time where Bobby Abreu was one of the game's best hitters. Really been a big find for the Mets. Hasn't been as good as a pinch hitter. Just 2 for 18, but as an everyday player, he's been productive. Late swing there on Jason Mott.
You came to the ball club after the media guides were printed.
Popped up left side. Holiday coming in, calls off to Scalzo. He's got it. All right, last chance, guys. Carpenter, Jay Holiday when we come up. Cologne trying to win his 5th straight decision, and he gives way to Henry Mejia. Our Chevy called to the bullpen.
Mejia, so I got his 7th save. That was on Sunday as he retired all 6 Padres. Moved to the bullpen. He made 7 starts. Moved the bullpen on May 12th. Been able to hold lefties to a .216 average. So they've been kind of experimenting, trying to do all different combinations and trying to find who's to close after Bobby Parnell, was lost for the year.
22 saves a year ago for Parnell, and
I mean, he was coming off a neck ailment, a disc problem, and then didn't he have Tommy John? Does that sound right? Got to get a little more enthusiastic for this Cardinal comeback. I'm sure the little guy will once we start going.
Oh, he'll wake him up.
Yeah.
If we, a couple runners aboard, it will wake him up.
I said Mejia right-hander, but he's held left-handed hitters to a .216 average. And you're talking about 21 for 97, so pretty good sample size. See what Carpenter's done, 2 for 3 against Mejia.
24-year-old Dominican right-hander Henry Mejia. Ball 1. Cardinals need base runners. Two and 0. April 21st, Mejia pitched very well against the Cardinals.
The Mets won 3 out of 4 against the Cardinals in New York.
Made 7 starts, 16 relief appearances, and in case you're wondering, he's averaging about 4 walks per 9 innings. So behind in the count to Carpenter. There's something to hope for.
And he's striking out 9 batters per 9 innings. Matt, we talk about it. It's kind of funny in this little 5-game winning streak the Cardinals had. Matt Carpenter really has not been a part of it. Usually he's the guy that ignites rallies and a big part of success.
2-2 to Carpenter. We're in the 9th. 3-2. Fans not giving up on this one. Has not woken up his son yet, but he's into it.
He's getting there.
I'll bet we get a base runner. He's waking up his son. What do you think?
I think I'm with you.
The 3-2 to Carpenter. Line drive, and it's fair. Into the corner. Carpenter headed for 2. There's your base runner in the 9th. Matt Carpenter gets things started. And the young man sleeps on.
It's the 17th double this year for Matt Carpenter. He had 55 last year. And here you see catcher wanted away. It comes back towards the middle of the plate and just hit hard down in the right field corner. So there's your start, but we need a lot more. That'll get the Mets bullpen hopping.
John Jay has been red hot. 5-game hitting streak for Jay. 7 for his last 18. First pitch to Jay. He can't hold up, and a little over anxious there on that pitch that was not even close to the zone.
Off-speed pitch that John Jay looked like he was committed to swing at the first strike. You see the relievers, lefty and a righty.
The 0-1, another breaking ball, this time low to Jay. Matt Holliday to follow.
How about John Jay trade places with Matt Holliday? Excuse me, Carpenter, and then we have Holliday winning.
Mejia not as effective on the road. Big splits there.
Big splits. I said his last appearance was Sunday, and he was perfect through 2 innings.
And that ball hit John Jay. Carpenter will have to retreat to second.
We're trying to tell everybody thought that it was like a wild pitch, but it hit batter, so dead ball.
But another base runner for the Cardinals as Mejia hits John Jay. Looked like maybe the foot. Nope, right knee. Jay points to it.
Hey, he's sort of.
And he's starting to revive. I like it. Come on, man, wake him up.
And wore that pitching coach out to talk to Mejia.
There we go. He's up now.
Like, Dad, come on, let me sleep. I had a rough night last night. I was out late partying with Rick Horton.
Oh my. Think he was watching the UVA TCU game?
Yes, that's what I thought.
Worthen has his say, trying to calm down his pitcher. Matt Holliday could win it.
Well, that's it. That's what I was rooting for. I was thinking a double by John Jay, trade places, and then bring up Matt with a potential go-ahead run and a 2-run home run. Now you just have to hit a 3-run home run for him. That's the potential tying run, and you can see they're not holding him on.
So a deep double would tie it. Holliday, the pitch. Strike 1 from Mejia.
Always swings at the first pitch, or just about. Takes this one, and now he's seen what it looks like. Last time out, Matt really lined it, ball to left field, right on the nose, but caught.
The pitch. 1-1. Crowd waiting to explode here.
We really haven't had a real good come from behind 9th inning walk-off win.
I'm ready. He's ready. The 1-1 to Holliday, grounded to short. To second for 1, and on to first for the double play.
Third double play the Mets have turned today. Still got hope.
John Jay did everything he could do to try to break that up, and I'm afraid that double play a little too disappointing to our friend who has seen enough.
Yeah, Matt's not convinced. He resisting leaving. He wants to see Alan Craig hit the 2-run home run.
Let's see. Do I beat traffic? Do I wake up my son? Or do I watch this game-tying home run here? Well, he's moving, but he'll still be watching. Craig. Tying run at the plate. He is set, and the pitch fouled back. Good cut there by Allen.
Real good cut right over the shoulder of the catcher, right on that pitch.
Allen's now 0 for his last 8 after getting 3 hits in a row to start this series. He's been streaky this year. Certainly has the power potential to tie it. Matt Adams would be next. The 1-1. Curveball, strike 2, and the Redbirds down to their last strike here in the bottom of the 9th.
It's right on the fastball, so they throw the breaking ball, and it was a knee buckler. Still got the one big strike left.
And here it comes. The 1-2. Grounded to the left side, and right has it. Off balance throw. Craig beats it out. Base hit. Alan Craig, RBI. Carpenter scores, and the Cardinals are not done yet.
38th RBI to lead the ball club for Alan Craig. Now he represents the tie and run, but we're going to have a pitching change.
And a pinch runner. Craig beats it out. Right. Made as good a play as you can make, and the bench reaction. All cheers. Pitching change for the Mets. More baseball left here at Busch.
This is pinch running. And Matt Adams came off the disabled list last Friday, and remember he had 3 home runs in that Washington series. Then he got the game winner in the first game of this series to have 4 in a row. He struggled against lefties, but you know the power potential. If you make a good pitch, you can get him out. Make a careless pitch, he's got a chance to win this ball game.
So Adams could win it. Again, the shift on. Whole left side of the field open for Matt Adams. Evelyn checks on Borges. A threat to steal. One of those green light Cardinals. Cardinals a long double away from tying this game, but the outfielder's very deep against Matt Adams. A lot of strategy going on here. Evelyn delivers home high to Adams, ball 1.
The breaking ball there, but didn't do much. It's kind of that you could just sit on that and crush it. Did pitch 1 game in this series.
3-2 Mets. Tying run at first base, bottom of the 9th. The pitch. 1-1.
Another breaking ball that didn't really end up in a good spot, middle half in, but now Matt Adams has seen it twice.
Evelyn has his sign. Adams waves at that breaking ball, and the Cardinals again down to their last strike.
That one much better and off the plate, but induced the swing.
Carpenter has scored this inning after a leadoff double. Cardinals now within 1.
I have to believe that that's what Matt's going to see. It's a 2-2 count, but that breaking ball, sweeping breaking ball,
And everybody on that Cardinals bench hoping he'll hang one. But most of the folks here at Busch. The 2-2. There goes Borges. Swung on, hit to the left side of the infield. And the play at first is in time to get Matt Adams, who throws his helmet down in frustration as the Cardinals make it interesting here in the 9th inning, but drop this game 3-2 to the New York Mets. Our Budweiser player of the game, Bartolo Colon, outstanding start for him. He picks up his 7th victory, Al, in 86 pitches. And the Cardinals made it interesting.
Well, they made it interesting. They weren't going to quit, but falling a little short, and we'll start a new winning streak tomorrow.
That's it from inside the stadium.